the next thing we are going to do is our video game review.
Oh, yeah, we got to do that.
Yes, that's why I was asking if you were done with the modern wrestling.
We haven't done that
because we're going to switch to that. I know it's been a minute, right? We've only had one. Well, last year there was only one game, though.
That's fair.
In 1995.
We'll have more of this show.
We do have more this year, and we're actually going to cover as many as we can if I do my job. A few are non-branded that came out in 96, but we're still going to try to keep up with as many video games as we can. So this week we're reviewing In Your House, the video game. How appropriate, since we are doing In Your House.
It is. Good times.
It came out in 96. This game is very, very obscure to find stuff on. I don't remember it at all. My co-host here remembers playing it.
I remember playing it on PlayStation.
We've watched several. We do research when we do this. I did my initial research. We watched some YouTube videos. We know it came out in 96. Some October, November, somewhere around.
Well, the one on PlayStation, the one I played, came out October.
October, yeah. So this was only available on PlayStation, Sega Saturn, and DOS. Microsoft DOS. I believe 3. And part of the reason was Acclaim was actually suffering from financial loss, laying off employees, and they were in a little trouble with the Exchange and Securities Commissions this year. So they were actually putting all their money and focus into Turok Dinosaur Hunter. Remember that?
I remember Turok.
Yes, which is why this game, and not only this game, but several games that year that Midway had their hands in, didn't get a lot of press, weren't released on, they were trying to put all their chips in one spot since they were financially struggling. So maybe that's why a lot of us don't remember this. But similar to WrestleMania, the arcade game, it was similar. Let's talk about a few of the differences. Like, everybody has their own arena. So we're still doing the Mortal Kombat.
We are, yes.
Some guys have really cool arenas.
Yes.
Like Owen Hart had his court of
hearts.
Cards, I guess. But the cool thing was in one, it's like he had cards on the wall, and it was like, and back there he had a slam like in one corner. Because he is the King of Hearts, right? So,
Undertaker had a dungeon, and it had a guy who was hanging, but he was happy about it.
He was cheering for the match.
match.
And then as soon as I was like, look, there's some creepy chicks inside him, she took her head off.
Yeah, she takes her head off. And then there was some weird green blob thing. I don't know what that was.
I don't know what that was about.
But, Undertaker's made sense. Oh, yeah. We were very scared
about Ahmed.
We were a little worried. I was like, what are you going to do with Ahmed? You got the one black guy on this. What are you about to do? Is this about to be a KFC or some shit? Like, this is not going to be good. It wasn't good.
No.
But it wasn't offensive. But
it was
not good. It was just a locker room. They're like, we don't give a fuck.
With Ahmed Johnson posters on the wall.
It was either,
in case you didn't know.
It was either they didn't give a fuck, or they were like, careful, what's safe, locker room. Do the locker room, wrap it up.
But most of it made sense. Bret Hart had Stu's dungeon. Triple H had a mansion because he's the regal guy. Goldust came up, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, we
were again.
That was the next one. It was like, oh, crap, we got it. Watch it. What? But it actually made sense. They went with the other part of his gimmick, and that is he's really into he's from Hollywood and all that stuff, so it was a movie theater, there was popcorn, and he had popcorns popping out of him and shit. He
didn't have the movie down. He was still rubbing his
nipples. He was rubbing his nipples.
Still rubbing his nipples and his testicles.
It was still that. But.
Yeah, there was still that going on, and of course, Sean had a nightclub with 17 Marines in the background.
Absolutely, all the Marines.
Pretty sure
Marty Jannetty bought, absolutely.
It was a nightclub. The ropes looked like they were neon. There were some headbangers. I don't know. I said there was a...
That was the headbangers that are eventually going to show up in WWE.
It was the Marty Jannetty School of Jobbers.
Okay.
They just decorated it up.
Well, then they were about to tag Sean,
And there was a girl dancing in the background. And I said, it looks like Stephanie. And it might be. Remember when I pointed her out?
It's possible. They were probably like...
Shane were young. They were like in the catalogs, modeling the clothes and stuff. So it could be her. I don't know. But that was a pretty funny one. Then we got to the...
I'm confused still.
And the first thing I noticed was he was in the desert with a canyon in the background. I'm like, see, I told you the Warrior was an Indian gimmick. And the post
Native American.
Native American.
Let's be not insensitive. Native American.
Cactus.
However,
look at the crowd and
it was very it's deserty and all that stuff. You got cactus, western. those guys had kilts.
They were Scottish.
I'm not sure how those made sense. Then they had axes and shit.
Well, yeah, well, a lot were in kilts, and then I look over here and I'm like, is that a gladiator? What is this?
Like, I do not understand what is going on.
I mean, either. I still don't know what was going on.
Are there
and then there was one other
Scottish Native Americans that I'm not aware of?
We get to Vader, and we're in front of a mine shaft. I don't know what that has to do with Vader.
I think they just
Are there mines in Colorado?
We have no idea.
Are there mines in
Colorado?
That's where it came from.
I've never been to Colorado.
I haven't either, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to figure out. He's from Boulder, Colorado, so we're putting you in front of a mine shaft.
Well, you get boulders in a mine, right? I don't know. There's boulders in Colorado. That makes sense, I think.
I guess,
I don't know. Nothing's as baffling as Ultimate Warriors.
I guess I didn't go over the...
I would have been happier if there was some aliens there, too. You know, throw some aliens there.
Yeah.
You know, he's already, his gimmick's weird.
And then we saw one footage where we thought Bulldog's arena was just like a ring, but it had to be different gameplay because Bulldog actually had a ring in London.
He had a London arena.
The quarter posts were fucking fire hydrants.
Which in fairness is probably better than them trying to just do a giant dog house.
Sure, yeah. So I guess I should mention the roster. There were 10 wrestlers on this game. We had Brett Taker, Shawn, Owen Hart, Bulldog, Goldust, Ahmed Johnson, Triple H, Vader, and the Warrior. The commentators were Vince and Mr. Perfect, and if I had to hear one more time that's not perfect, I was going to break the monitor. Like, that's not perfect! I think they said like 3 different times.
I noticed it a lot, and I was like, what? Mr. Perfect's not even in this game. I wasn't thinking about the fact that he was one of the commentators, yeah.
I didn't think that... It had some cool stuff. Like, I thought the arenas were cool. I thought that part was cool. But
the graphics weren't as good as the last game.
Like, you couldn't even tell their tights and everything, yeah, but when it got to their faces, you're like, who is that?
Now, I think that I liked this game as a kid, but I never played WrestleMania, the arcade game. I didn't realize that was around. Plus, so the only one I played was the In Your House
as
one.
A kid...
And you probably
I would think this one would be a little cooler, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a lot more powers and stuff.
And you got cooler backgrounds.
And there was finishers that I never realized when I was a kid.
Right. And so they had what they call them, super pins, but they were like fatalities.
Yeah, they were like fatalities.
They were supposed to be. And like Owen did his, and he ended up with a chair and a scepter and his crown, you know. So,
Bret Hart just dropped a giant title on your ass.
Dude, but Vader. What happened there? Vader turned into a giant blob. I don't even know what
Vader jumps up. It's like he is the blob from X-Men. Like he's from the blob from X-Men, and he drops down, and his ass goes
everywhere,
badonkadonk size,
everywhere,
and just slams on your face and everything.
Taker's wasn't as cool in this one because the headstone came up.
Yeah, I liked the one in WrestleMania better. Yeah, he just turned you to acid, then you turned into a headstone. And the last one, he threw you into a coffin, which was cool.
But you know, and I guess, I mean, it still had all the cool, like they didn't bleed, they had stuff fly on their, you know, bodies or whatever. And but it was hard. Even we watched a video of a guy that also did, but he was like comparing the systems for us, and he said the same thing I did. Like, it's hard to find stuff in this game. It just wasn't. It was a very unreal.
It wasn't a lot, and
not a lot of info.
The only real difference is the Microsoft DOS version. They played the entrance music of whatever. It was either the wrestler or the venue you were at.
Right, which I didn't notice when we first started watching it. They made, like, when Sean's fighting in his nightclub, there's nothing.
No sound.
It's supposed to be a nightclub, and
there's no music.
Yeah,
and only the Microsoft DOS version had music.
Had the music during the
and
match.
It was the last one to come out, so I don't even know if it was a power issue, like they didn't have enough power to add the music. I think it was more likely they were like, oh, we didn't think about doing this, but let's just add this right quick.
I don't know if you noticed, too, that in the video we watched, that Acclaimed was not involved in this either.
Oh.
Because they were busy with other stuff, so they passed it off to this, what do you call them, Sprite something? It was a different company, so it was Midway, but Acclaimed was not involved in making this game.
Right.
So, maybe that's another reason it was kind of swept under the rug. Overall, though, from the footage, it looks like it's pretty much the same game. You just get some different.
Every woman's wildest dream.
You just get some different arenas and a little bit of cooler graphics, and Ahmed has to fight the locker room. You know, so. By the way, I'm pretty sure Ahmed's finished was somehow he turned his opponent into a giant turd and then crushed him. That's what it looked like. Remember his super pin?
Yeah.
It looked like a giant piece of shit.
Sure.
Warrior was like Raiden and pulled down.
Yeah, he just.
The gods, I guess.
Well, he is Native American / Scottish /
space alien. Yeah.
And Gladiator. I don't fucking know what
he doesn't know who he is. Okay, he doesn't know.
That is the biggest. That is the biggest. What is the word I'm looking? That's the biggest fatality of my childhood.
Warrior,
Ultimate Warrior. Since I started doing this podcast, the biggest fatality of my childhood is being like, why did I love the Warrior so much? I loved the Ultimate Warrior so much.
Hogan was my number one guy, but I love the Warrior too. And then I go back and watch this stuff.
Yeah,
when you were a kid, it took a little less.
A lot less, apparently, because I was...
It was the makeup, it was the running, it was the shaking.
I mean, sure, I like his look and stuff, but he was not a good wrestler.
No, he wasn't.
I even gained slightly more respect for Hogan while also hating him more. I think with Hogan, I went from, okay, I get parts of it, but then I also was able to say, I also know why I hate him.
Right. And that was somebody, too, that was just a big part of my childhood. But I've always said about Hogan, what it comes down to is what he's actually done in the business. He's not the best wrestler.
No.
But Hogan changed the game.
But
more than once, he changed the game. Like WrestleMania, being in movies, NWO, what he contributed.
Well, in fairness, I have a philosophy that if you're going to make fun of something or someone or whatever, you should at least see their body of work or see.
That's right, before you shit on them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can properly insult them if you've actually watched what they've done.
That's why I can hate.
So that's how how I feel about like I watched the Twilight movies and I read the books, so I could probably shit on it instead of just being like, oh, sparkly vampires. No, I can give you actual descriptions of why this is a shit.
I mean, I watched one because I watched your girlfriend, but I didn't need to watch that movie to tell you those are vampires that sparkle. I don't even need to know vampires. My daughter was obsessed with all the Twilights.
See,
but I tried to avoid.
I read the books because I like to read. I used to read a lot back in the day. I still read, but normally it's on the internet. But I love to read, and I love
It's
checking.
A sunny day.
I read all those Playboys, every bit.
Every bit of them.
Every bit of it. No page left undone. Oh yeah, that's true. That's fair. But my sister does not read at all, and she read the Twilight books, and I'm like, okay, my sister actually read this. I'm going to have to check it out. So I checked it out. I've done that before with one of my best friends. He never reads either, but he read and liked Aragon, the Aragon book, and those were actually decent. And then they shit out on it on the movie.
They messed up with the movie, yeah.
I read the Twilight books and then watched some of the movies. I never finished it. I could never get to the end, but I watched some of them and I read some of them. And I was able to pinpoint why this is more dumb in the movie or why this is more dumb in the book.
Look,
I know how to properly insult it.
Blaze likes to load his gun, is what he's saying. If he's going to shit all over it, he's going to have the ammo.
Alright, let's shit on the movie real quick. So, in the movie,
yes.
Do you remember how he shows off his sparkliness?
Hell no. I remember nothing about the movie except for
So in the movie, he just out of nowhere is like, you want to know why I can't go out in the daytime? Sparkle!
It's raining.
He just takes her out to the forest and shows her that he sparkles, and that's why he can't be out.
I kind of remember that.
That's why he... Now, here's where I'm going to almost defend the books. The book still sucks. But in the books, she constantly berates him about why she asked him questions.
Right,
she
right,
keeps
right.
bugging him and bugging him.
Yeah.
And then he finally was like, all right, you really want to know? And he shows it. And then he does the sparkle! So, but in the movie, it's not like that. In the movie, she doesn't. I don't even remember if she asked once.
I don't know.
She just did not care. And then he was like, "I got it. I have to show her that I sparkle."
Do you see my third nipple right there?
Yeah, it's like
I can't be out in the sun right there.
Yeah. When you start showing me that you sparkle, I don't think that you are a scary vampire that sparkles. I think, oh, he went to Jared.
He went to Jared. I told my daughter, like, you know what? If you want to watch a vampire love story, watch an interview with a vampire that throw drive. All right, watch that.
True Blood.
Yeah,
True Blood was fun.
Even True Blood, yeah.
It gets a little ridiculous as you go, but the beginning's
still,
pretty fun.
That would even be better than Twilight.
Yeah.
But anyway,
all of it's better than Twilight.
Gold dust sparkled in the game, though.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes, watch Buffy. Gosh, I don't know.
That's got some vampire loving.
Yes, it does. Vampire love. That's kind of love. Not really. I don't know.
Or the greatest vampire love song of all time.
You're pointing to me like I know it.
You don't?
No.
Total Eclipse of the Heart.
That's a vampire love song?
It is.
It is.
So, here's the story of that real quick. I just keep going. So, Bonnie Tyler originally wrote that for a vampire love story musical. Ah. It was originally, and then she like changed it up a little bit and then made it a song and it became a huge hit. But if you think about it, listen to the words, it's all there.
You're going to have me curious now. I'm going to have to go back and that was something I didn't know. See, you're throwing facts at me.
Turn around, bright eyes. Every now and then I fall apart, and I need you now. Okay, none of these are vampire based, but
still, that's interesting though. That's something I didn't know.
If you look it up, I even used to know the name of the musical that was originally wrote for, but it is a vampire love song.
Nice. Well, that's a good song, so I'm okay with that.
It's the best vampire love song because it's the only one I know.